That's just a touch of what we've been working on. I had no idea how much this team does when I joined. And then I said, well, whatever you already do, we're going to multiply that by 10. So we're doing a ton. We welcome you to ask us questions at any point along the year as we're doing stuff. If you see a project you want to be involved in, we would love to hear from you, get your input. This really is a community effort. So next up, we've talked a lot about elevating the brand. We've talked about reaching a new high value audience. I don't know if anyone has been watching the news over the last 24 hours, but there's some stuff going on. So I'd like to invite my friends from Golf Tourism Solutions and Myrtle Beach Golf Course Owners Association up on stage, Tracy and Kyle. So Tracy.
Yes.
Anything going on this week?
Maybe just a little announcement yesterday. The golf industry is so excited. It's unbelievable. The very first PGA Tour event to come to Myrtle Beach, and it's a dream for us. It's a dream for our forefathers, and it is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, yes. It really did take a lot of people to come to the table to not only have this idea, but to push this over the line. It's taken a lot of hard work for a lot of months. So these two gentlemen right here were instrumental, as were the rest of the golf community here, including the Dunes Club, which is where it's going to be hosted. I heard on the news last night, and it's amazing. The news coverage has been phenomenal, not just locally and regionally, but also nationally. We're getting brands that we've never even had conversation with reach out to us and asking how they can get involved. This is the elevated event of all elevated events. Someone called it on the news last night the greatest sporting event that's ever happened at the Grand Strand. And I agree with that. This is elevating the brand to a whole new level. So we're super excited. Tracy, thank you for your part in this. Kyle, thank you for your part in this. And I'm going to hand over the mic to Kyle now. He's going to talk a little bit more about the golf industry in general and what Golf Tourism Solutions has been up to.
Thank you, Stuart. And I will say Tracy's done a fantastic job in being a big part in bringing this event to Myrtle Beach. And this is a big deal. When we talk about, hey, how do we elevate this marketplace? This event is going to do that. Like Stuart said, yesterday I was riding home listening to PGA Tour radio, and Karen is doing an interview about this. They're talking on PGA Tour radio about Myrtle Beach, and we've never had a PGA Tour event here in this marketplace. So now we're not only the golf capital of the world, but we can lay claim to being a premier destination and host of a PGA Tour event. So when we look back a year from now, I think we're going to be tickled about what this is going to do to our marketplace. And with that, so, got it? Oh, yeah, we're done. You got it, Chris?
Yeah, no, you.
All right, I'll just point.
Back up.
Back one more. Perfect. So here we are. So how is the industry right now for golf in Myrtle Beach? Well, let's take it back just a couple years. Prior to COVID, we would probably all say in the golf industry that golf was actually on a downward trajectory. But when this event, COVID, happened, it was actually one of the best things to happen for the game of golf. What happened was during this time where people were away from work or at home, what they could do was get out and play golf. And it reinvigorated people's love for the game of golf. And we've seen that trickle down into this marketplace. And what we'll take a look at is, hey, how do the rounds look now? Well, in 2021, we saw a great positive trajectory in terms of rounds and revenue. It was a record year in 2021. Well, as we moved to 2022, we saw those numbers continue to increase to the tune of an 8% increase in rounds in 2022 and a 13% increase in revenue. So by all intents and purposes, golf in the Myrtle Beach market is as healthy as it's ever been. And then when we look at it from a national standpoint, well, how does Myrtle Beach, how are we perceived nationally? Well, this past year, South Carolina was named the top destination in the country for golf and top 5 in the world. And who is leading that charge? Well, Myrtle Beach. When you look at the amount of rounds played in the state of South Carolina, Myrtle Beach is leading that charge amongst the other destinations in South Carolina. So hats off to Myrtle Beach. And then in addition, the National Golf Foundation which is a leading study or organization that does studies on the game of golf, put out a study this year where Myrtle Beach was voted America's favorite buddy trip destination by traveling golfers. So there is a lot of positive momentum happening in the game of golf in Myrtle Beach that is going to continue to elevate and continue to impact this destination. Now, as we go to how does the marketplace look moving forward, right? Well, we've come off 2 great years. Can that momentum continue? Well, I'm pleased to say it is, and it's looking like it's going to continue to improve. So rounds through the first 4 months of the year for 2023 and revenue are both up significantly. When we look at the peak season, or when we look at our pacing in some of our advanced forecasting models, we're seeing that spring, which we are currently in, and it's still projecting to be up 10% from last year. Our summer, which is our summer season, which is going to kick off in the next month, is projecting at pacing 8.5% ahead of where it was last year. And then as we move into the fall, which is golf's second season in Myrtle Beach, this is our second peak season when we see the most influx of golfers in our marketplace. That it currently is projecting 9.5% up from last year. So again, just want to reiterate, golf is doing well here in the marketplace. A couple things that the NGF found in their study that I just want to call out. In 2022, Myrtle Beach was the most searched destination for traveling golf on Google. More people are searching for golf and looking to find out information about golf in Myrtle Beach than any other destination. Again, Myrtle Beach was voted America's favorite buddies trip destination. And then another encouraging metric that we're looking at, golf is up 10% nationwide. There are more people playing the game of golf than ever before. This really bodes well for our destination. Again, when we talked about bringing a PGA Tour event, more golfers, better events coming to marketplace, there are a lot of great opportunities here in Myrtle Beach. And then with that, what I want to do is I just want to highlight a little bit about what we're doing at Golf Tourism Solutions. So if you're not familiar with our organization, we work very closely with Stuart and his team to promote this destination as the golf capital of the world, bring new visitors into the marketplace, bring new golfers. There's a number of different strategies that we implement. Don't have time to go through all of them, so I want to just focus on one. One, Stuart talked about, hey, how do we disrupt? And what we're looking to do in the golf industry is we're looking to disrupt. We want to be different. We want to stand out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a strategy that is different from what our peers are doing. We're looking to disrupt. We're looking to try new things. And before I talk about that, I want you to understand a little bit about the consumer so you understand why we're doing this. So in Myrtle Beach, we have 2 different main consumers of golfers. We have our legacy golfer. This is our golfer that's been coming to Myrtle Beach for decades, likely. They've been coming here for years. Look, Stuart mentioned earlier, if we can get someone here to Myrtle Beach, we know we can get them back. The same is true on the golf side of things. So this guy's been coming here for years. He consumes traditional media. He's probably in his late 50s. He's here. He's coming. But we have this new segment of golfer, what we coin internally as this emerging, this next generation of traveling golfer, born out of this boom in golf post-COVID. Younger, typically under the age of 40. They consume their media content differently. They even look differently on the golf course. They wear different kinds of clothing. They listen to music, maybe drink a few more beers, maybe play a little slower. They're not as competitive, but they want to have good times and they want to make memories. This is the generation that we're targeting and what we're going after in this strategy that I'm going to talk about. It's this emerging, the next generation of traveling golfer that we want to convert and become brand enthusiasts for Myrtle Beach and come back year after year for the next decade plus. So how are we going to do that? So this strategy that I'm going to talk about is through creator partnerships. So what we've done is we've identified creators and brands that have significant pull within the golf industry. And there's 3 different examples I'm going to talk about. The first is a partnership we've had for the last 2 years with Barstool Sports and specifically their golf franchise, Foreplay. Now, if you're not familiar, Foreplay is the #1 golf media brand out there. They have the #1 podcast out there. They have a vibrant YouTube channel full of content. They have a team of creators. and they have a robust following. A study came out recently where golf brands and companies are now pulling money away, marketing dollars away from athletes and putting them into these creators and brands such as Foreplay, because that's where the eyeballs are at in this new age. So we've had a partnership with them for 2 years, and that's been a great partnership where we bring these guys into market, they create content on our behalf, with Myrtle Beach being in the background, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for Myrtle Beach to be natively and organically placed in content where there's a robust following, where we can get Myrtle Beach front and center of golfers. Now, it's been a great partnership. They were actually just in market this week. They're filming a father and son travel series here in Myrtle Beach. They've been here many times throughout the year, and they'll continue this year. So that's one example, a partnership with Foreplay and Barstool Sports. The second is with YouTubers. And now a lot of times when we think YouTubers, we kind of laugh, right? YouTubers, all right? Well, in the golf space, there's a niche group of YouTubers with hundreds of thousands, if not close to a million followers. This group is called Good Good. They are the dude perfect of the golf YouTube space. Well, what we've done is we've partnered with some of the characters from this group and created partnerships for them to create content in our market. Again, we want Myrtle Beach to be organically and natively ingrained in content that we know a golfer is watching. So we brought them into market to create content and to run promotions with. And it's done phenomenally. And it's one of the greatest things we've seen is, and I'll show you a great example, is the power of these YouTubers. So we had them in a few weeks ago, and with them was a PGA Tour player as part of this deal. His name's Wesley Bryan. Well, these YouTubers, their name's Grant and Micah. They're out at a golf course, and there's a group of kids out there. And they see Grant and Micah, and they see Wesley, who's a PGA Tour player, and they immediately all flock to the two YouTubers. They want to get photos and meet them. They could have cared less about this professional athlete. That shows the power of these individuals. And then the last example of our creator partnerships is at Golf Tourism Solutions. Part of what we do is we run events. We run events during non-peak seasons to bring golfers into the Myrtle Beach market, one of which is the Myrtle Beach World Am coming into our 40th year. This late summer, we'll have over 3,500 golfers come into Myrtle Beach. Well, we re-looked at how we ran events. We said, hey, we've typically run events for avid golfers, but what if we create an event as a promotional vehicle? And what we did was we created an event this past year called the Social Scramble. And what that is we brought in 20 content creators, influencers with a combined following of 1 million plus. And we said, hey, come into Myrtle Beach. And through the contracts that we developed with them, they had to highlight certain parts of Myrtle Beach. But what we also did is we had media teams on site during this tournament that would follow these groups around, where we created content, own content that we owned, that we now use in our outbound marketing throughout the year. And what we've been able to do is leverage these personalities, these younger faces, to be the new faces of our content. And we're bringing them back for their second year this fall, and it's something we're looking to continue to develop. Now, that was just a short little snippet of what we're doing here in the marketplace, but we're truly excited to be able to continue to work with Visit Myrtle Beach and the CVB to continue to push this destination forward and get more golfers into Myrtle Beach. Thank you.